Welcome to your personalized deep dive into today's news.
We've sifted through articles from MarketWatch, CNBC, and even some financial insights from the Motley Fool UK.
Yeah, we've got a lot to unpack.
We do.
From Trump's executive orders
to AI's impact on Wall Street and
some global tremors
yes,
you should know about.
We're going to break down these complex events and highlight what matters most to you.
Sounds good.
So you can walk away feeling informed and ready to tackle your day.
All right, let's start with the elephant in the room.
Okay.
President Trump.
He is back.
He's back and making waves.
Yes, he is.
But not just with political drama.
Right.
MarketWatch is reporting
that
some of his executive orders are directly impacting markets and personal finances.
That's right. The article specifically points to potential inflationary pressures.
Okay.
If corporate tax cuts are enacted too quickly.
Really?
It seems like a counterintuitive move to hold back on tax cuts.
Yeah.
But in the long run, it might be a better strategy to avoid further economic instability.
So should people be worried about their investments right now?
It's always wise to be cautious and informed, but panicking is never the answer.
Right.
We'll be keeping a close eye on the market and providing updates as things develop.
Okay.
Speaking of keeping an eye on things,
Yeah.
Trump's focus on TikTok continues. Investing.com reports he's still in discussions about a potential purchase of the platform.
Wow.
With a decision expected in the next 30 days.
Remember all the controversy surrounding TikTok a few years ago?
I do.
Seems like that saga is far from over.
It really underscores the ongoing tech war between the U.S. and China.
Yeah.
Which might be hitting closer to home than you realize.
Okay.
CNBC reports that TP-Link routers, a popular Chinese brand, could be the next target of U.S. tech bans.
Wow.
Considering how many people use TP-Link routers, this could have a significant impact on consumers.
Okay, so international relations are definitely heating up.
They are.
What about other political developments?
Well, Kristi Noem has been confirmed as Homeland Security Secretary.
Okay.
And CNBC is reporting that House Republicans are struggling to find common ground on funding Trump's tax cuts.
Oh, classic Washington gridlock.
Yes, indeed.
It never seems to end.
Never does.
But what's happening on the global stage outside of the U.S. and China?
There's growing concern over the rise of the far-right movement in Germany.
Really?
Especially with elections approaching. CNBC is highlighting the potential instability this could bring, not just to Germany, but to the entire region.
That's definitely something to watch.
It is.
Switching gears a bit, what's going on with the markets?
Sure.
Any interesting moves or investment advice we should know about?
Vanguard has made a pretty bold move.
Okay.
Suggesting investors flip the traditional 60-40 portfolio allocation to 40-60.
What?
Favoring bonds over stocks.
Wow.
MarketWatch explains how this is even more shocking than it initially appears, given Vanguard's long-standing approach.
So what does that actually mean for someone like me who's just trying to manage their 401k?
Essentially, it means shifting more of your retirement savings into bonds, which are generally considered less risky than stocks.
All right.
It's a way to protect your investments during times of market volatility. Of course, it's always best to consult with a financial advisor to determine the right strategy for your specific situation.
Good advice. Anything else from the financial world?
UBS is predicting a 17% rise in Berkshire Hathaway shares.
Wow.
Citing the potential of Geico, their insurance arm.
Okay.
CNBC suggests this might signal optimism about the company's future performance, which could have broader implications for the market.
That's good news for anyone who owns Berkshire Hathaway stock.
It is indeed. And for those looking for investment ideas, Bank of America has highlighted their 10 favorite stocks for 2025.
Okay.
Spanning diverse industries.
Right.
CNBC breaks down this list and provides insights into why these stocks are considered attractive.
That's handy. Are there any specific stocks they recommend for someone who is risk-averse?
CNBC also highlights a few dividend stocks recommended by top Wall Street analysts, including AT&T and Diamondback Energy. They're known for consistent payouts, which can provide some peace of mind during uncertain times.
So lots of options for investors depending on their risk tolerance and goals.
There are.
What about those of us who are just trying to keep up with the cost of living?
Right.
Any news on that front?
Well, CNBC reports that Social Security benefits are set to rise by 2.5% in 2025.
Okay, that's good news for retirees struggling with rising costs.
It is.
That's a start, but 2.5% doesn't seem like much considering how expensive everything has become.
Exactly. CNBC points out that this increase may not be enough for many retirees to keep up with inflation, especially as costs for essentials continue to climb.
So we've got political drama, international tensions, market volatility, and the ever-present cost of living squeeze.
We do.
Is there anything else happening globally that we should be aware of?
North Korea is making headlines again.
Oh, what now?
They've fired cruise missiles and signaled a hardline approach toward the U.S., according to CNBC.
It seems like North Korea is always in the news for something like this.
It's a complex situation with a long history.
Yeah,
Adding to the mix, Trump has also expressed renewed interest in Greenland.
he has.
CNBC suggests this is part of a larger play for control over the Arctic.
So the Arctic is the new hotspot?
It's definitely gaining attention.
Okay.
There's a delicate balance between exploiting the economic opportunities in the Arctic and protecting its fragile environment.
And let's not forget about the devastating wildfires that continue to plague parts of the U.S.
Yes.
CNBC reports that rebuilding efforts in Los Angeles are facing many challenges.
The scale of the damage is truly immense.
Yeah.
And the rebuilding process is going to be long and complex.
Right.
It's a reminder of the importance of disaster preparedness and the resilience of communities facing these kinds of tragedies.
And speaking of wildfires, CNBC also reports that the demand for aerial firefighting services has surged,
Yes.
which isn't surprising considering the increase in wildfire activity.
This highlights the growing threat of wildfires, especially with climate change, exacerbating the problem.
Yeah.
It's clear we need greater investment in prevention and response efforts to protect lives and property.
Before we move on, let's circle back to President Trump.
Okay.
CNBC is reporting that he fired at least 12 inspectors general,
He did.
which is raising legal concerns.
This move is definitely raising eyebrows.
Yeah.
Inspectors general play a crucial role in ensuring government accountability and oversight.
Right.
So these firings have sparked debate about the potential consequences for transparency.
It seems like President Trump's return to office is already having a significant impact across many different areas.
It's definitely a dynamic situation that we'll continue to monitor closely.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
From President Trump's whirlwind week to global economic trends and even the rising cost of living.
It's a lot to process, but remember, staying informed is the first step in navigating these challenging times.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to our deep dive into today's news. We covered a lot of ground already, from President Trump's first week backed to global anxieties.
Yeah.
Now it's time to focus on the fast-paced world of business and technology, where things are constantly evolving.
Okay, so let's dive right in here. AI is clearly the hottest topic right now, and for good reason, big tech companies are pouring billions into it.
Right.
But MarketWatch is raising an interesting question.
Yeah.
How long will Wall Street's patience last for those big payoffs to materialize?
Well, investors are eager to see how these massive investments will translate into tangible results.
Yeah.
New products, increased efficiency, or higher profits will certainly grab their attention.
And speaking of AI, CNBC has a report on how Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram,
Right.
is trying to fight back against TikTok's dominance.
Interesting.
They're offering creators financial incentives to promote Instagram on other platforms like TikTok, Snapchat, and YouTube Shorts.
It's a bold move. They're essentially trying to use TikTok's own platform to their advantage.
Wow.
This really highlights the fierce competition in the social media landscape, where platforms are constantly battling for user engagement.
While Meta is fighting on the social media front, there's another tech war brewing with potential implications for your home Wi-Fi network.
Oh.
CNBC reports that TP-Link routers,
Okay.
a popular Chinese brand, could be the next target of U.S. tech bans.
This follows a familiar pattern we've seen with Huawei and ZTE.
Right.
National security concerns are driving these restrictions on Chinese tech companies. It's a reminder that technology is deeply intertwined with geopolitics, and these tensions can impact consumers directly.
Now let's zoom out to the broader market and see what's catching the eye of analysts and investors. UBS is particularly bullish on Berkshire Hathaway, predicting a 17% rise in their shares.
They're especially optimistic about Geico, Berkshire's insurance giant.
Right.
It's worth noting that Berkshire Hathaway, led by Warren Buffett, is often seen as a bellwether for the overall market. This positive outlook from UBS could signal confidence in the broader economy as well.
That's interesting for those seeking investment ideas. Bank of America has released its list of 10 favorite stocks for 2025. The list features companies from various sectors like technology, retail, and energy.
These analyst picks can be a useful starting point for research.
Yeah.
But it's crucial to do your own due diligence, consider your individual investment goals and risk tolerance before making any decisions.
Solid advice. And speaking of risk tolerance, CNBC also highlighted some dividend stocks recommended by top Wall Street analysts. These include AT&T and Diamondback Energy, both known for their consistent payouts.
Okay.
Are these a good bet for investors who are a bit more risk-averse?
Dividend stocks can be a good option for generating passive income and potentially growing your wealth over time.
Okay.
They tend to be less volatile than growth stocks, which makes them attractive to more conservative investors.
The Motley Fool UK is posing an interesting question, too.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the FTSE 100 index hitting a record high, are there still bargains to be found?
It's a good point. Even in a seemingly overheated market, there may be undervalued companies with strong fundamentals and growth potential.
Yeah.
Careful research and analysis are key to uncovering these hidden gems.
Let's shift gears to personal finance.
Sure.
We talked about Social Security benefits increasing by 2.5% in 2025 earlier. That's welcome news for retirees.
It is.
But might not be enough to keep pace with the rising cost of living.
CNBC emphasizes that inflation continues to be a concern.
Yeah.
Retirement planning requires careful consideration of various factors, including healthcare costs and potential changes to government programs.
And MarketWatch has a series of personal finance dilemmas ripped straight from the headlines. These stories offer a glimpse into the anxieties people are facing, often related to relationships, family dynamics, and the fear of outliving their savings.
Right. One story features a newlywed seeking advice after discovering her husband's hidden debt. This situation underscores the importance of financial transparency and open communication in relationships.
Financial infidelity can be just as damaging as other forms of betrayal. Building a strong financial foundation as a couple requires honesty, shared goals, and a willingness to tackle challenges together. Another story involves a woman inheriting millions of dollars but facing criticism from her husband for not wanting to share it.
Inheritance can be a blessing, but also a source of tension if not handled carefully.
Yeah.
It's crucial for couples to discuss their expectations and consider seeking professional advice to ensure fairness.
And then there's a woman contemplating leaving her IRA to her son from a previous marriage, bringing up the often overlooked topic of estate planning.
Having a well-thought-out estate plan, including a will, trusts, and other legal documents, can help ensure your assets are distributed according to your wishes. This is especially important for blended families or those with complex financial situations.
On a more somber note, there's a story about a couple trying to help a 100-year-old aunt who was swindled by her own son. This case of elder financial abuse highlights the vulnerability of seniors and the need for vigilance in protecting their financial well-being.
It's a heartbreaking situation, and sadly more common than many realize. It's often perpetrated by trusted family members or caregivers, making it difficult to detect and prevent. Being aware of the warning signs and taking steps to safeguard seniors' finances is crucial.
And another story explores the tension that arises when siblings receive unequal financial help from their parents. This can lead to resentment and fractured family relationships.
Parents often have their own reasons for providing different levels of support, but it's important to strive for fairness and transparency. Open communication and understanding among siblings can help navigate these sensitive issues.
Lastly, we have a 59-year-old worried about their limited 401k and seeking guidance on securing their retirement.
It's a common concern for those approaching retirement age, especially if they haven't saved as much as they'd hoped. It's never too late to start planning, though.
So what are some steps they can take to get back on track?
There are strategies for those who may have started saving later in life, but seeking professional financial advice can be invaluable. It helps develop a personalized plan based on individual circumstances and goals.
We've covered a lot of ground in this segment, from the AI race to personal finance dilemmas and investment tips. Our deep dive has provided a valuable snapshot of the business and technology landscape.
Staying informed about these trends can help you make more informed decisions, whether you're an investor, a business owner, or simply someone trying to navigate the complexities of modern life.
In our final segment, we'll zoom out to the global stage and explore some events and their potential ripple effects. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've analyzed President Trump's return, the AI race market moves, and even how global events can hit close to home through those personal finance stories.
Now it's time to zoom out to the global stage and see how events unfolding around the world might impact us all.
Let's start with a story highlighting the interconnectedness of our world. CNBC reports that President Trump's aid freeze has left Afghan visa holders stranded in Albania.
This situation demonstrates the far-reaching consequences of policy decisions. It's a reminder that even events happening thousands of miles away can have ripple effects that touch individuals in unexpected ways.
Speaking of far-reaching consequences, the world is watching as tensions escalate between the U.S. and North Korea. CNBC reports that North Korea has fired cruise missiles and vowed to take a tough stance against the U.S.
This latest development raises concerns about a potential arms race in the region. Maintaining peace and stability in a world with nuclear weapons is a constant challenge.
Meanwhile, in Europe, CNBC reports that thousands in Germany are protesting the rise of the far right ahead of next month's election.
This growing support for far-right movements is a trend we're seeing in many parts of the world. It raises important questions about the future of democracy and the potential for political instability.
And President Trump has expressed renewed interest in Greenland, sparking speculation about his motives.
CNBC suggests this interest is part of a larger strategy to gain control over the Arctic. This region is becoming increasingly important due to its vast natural resources and strategic location.
Melting ice is opening up shipping routes and access to untapped resources, leading to increased competition among nations.
It's a delicate balance between economic opportunities and the need to protect this fragile environment.
Back in the U.S., communities are still grappling with the aftermath of devastating wildfires. CNBC reports on the long road ahead for rebuilding efforts in Los Angeles.
The scale of the damage is immense. The rebuilding process will require a coordinated effort from government agencies, private organizations, and individuals.
CNBC also highlights the growing demand for aerial firefighting services as wildfires become more frequent and intense.
This increased demand underscores the need for greater investment in prevention preparedness and response efforts. Wildfires pose a significant threat to property, lives, the environment, and our overall well-being.
As we wrap up this deep dive into the day's news, it's clear that we live in a complex and interconnected world.
Staying informed about current events and their potential impact is crucial, whether navigating the global economy, planning for retirement, or simply understanding the forces shaping our world. Knowledge is power.
So as you go about your day, consider this. With all this talk of global uncertainty, what's one step you can take to feel more secure in your own life?
Whether it's strengthening your financial foundation, connecting with your community, or taking time for self-care, remember that even small actions can make a big difference. Until next time, keep diving deep and stay curious.